Hello there, my name is Taryn. We're about halfway through January of 2021, and I think a great way to reinvigorate some of our New Year's resolutions is to create a vision board. So let's do it together. All right, let's go over what you'll need. If you're going to keep this completely digital, all you'll really need is a pen, paper, and access to a computer. If you're going to print it out like me, you're going to need to know where this is going to go when it's finished. That's going to determine what size pin board, cork board, or piece of paper that you use, and it's going to decide the size of our image later, or images, I should say. If you have magazines and newspapers that you don't read, you can always bring those out. Those are going to be particularly helpful if you don't have access to a printer right now. Other than that, you can get tape or glue, whatever works for you. If you're using a pin board or a cork board, I suggest pins. And then you'll need scissors, X-Acto knife, and a cutting mat. Of course, only scissors totally works as well. And if you're using the magazines and newspapers, but you don't have a lot on hand, ask your neighbors if you can look through some of their recycling, their paper recycling, or head to a doctor's office and see if they have any magazines that they're willing to part with. Once we have everything we need, it's really important that we sit down and we get clear on what we expect of ourselves within this next year. Now, you don't have to know exactly what you want, but you want to have an idea so you can put yourself in the right direction. And it's also very important that you focus on things that you believe are possible for you to accomplish in a year. Now, I'm not saying this to at all dampen your spirits or make you dream any smaller. My thing is, you don't want to set yourself up for failure. This is going to be something that you get up in the morning and it's going to re-inspire you. And like I said, reinvigorate you to follow your New Year's resolutions and your dreams and everything that you want to manifest. So don't hinder yourself right out of the gate by picking things that you're really not sure of, or you have some apprehension against. Like, it's one thing to be scared and a little uncomfortable trying new things or aiming for something new, but you don't want to do something that you think is impossible. But there's ways to fix that. We could always do a 5-year vision board or a 10-year vision board. Now, let's talk organization. I have the tendency to overwhelm myself a little bit by picking too many resolutions. So this year, I just picked 3 big ones, and that's going to be the ones that I try to bring together in my vision board. Of course, you're free to pick more, you're free to pick less, but we want to stay focused on a select few. And that doesn't mean that all of the pictures need to be like specific, but they do need to be thematically related. Try to think of this as a mood board, which is something they use a lot in design to express the feeling that the project's going to have. Or you can think of it as a collage, but again, you don't want to get too broad with it because it's not going to be as useful. There doesn't have to be clear divisions or perfect organization. It doesn't have to be so type A personality, but you just want it to be clear enough that when you wake up in the morning and you look at it, you know exactly what you're looking at in yourself. Like, nobody else needs to understand what it is, only you do. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to get you dreaming big and really like jazzing yourself up about all of the things that you are capable of and you are so deserving of. So let's keep this fun. Don't worry about the organization too much. Don't worry about the supplies too much. Let's get into it. And do your best to set a mood for yourself. You know, get yourself something delicious to eat. Try a new smoothie recipe. Try a new wine. Maybe even like listen to a new record, burn some incense, diffuse some essential oils. You're going to make this fun and you're going to make this about you. It's going to be like a self-love, self-pampering, magnetic manifestation session. Now, once you have a clear idea of what you want, we're going to start looking for images. I recommend Pinterest and Instagram because they do have very artistic aesthetics. They have very specific moods in many of their images. But I like Pinterest especially for this because when you click on one pin, it's going to show you a bunch of other visually related pins down below it. So if that first pin that you clicked on isn't exactly what you're looking for, you'll eventually find that picture if you click on the right images underneath it. So you're going to want to refine your search that way as well, with being specific with what you click on. And I think the same works with Instagram. Of course, you don't have to go this route. You could always use Google Images. But the other reason why I like Pinterest and Instagram is that while I'm trying to create this life or this manifestation or this goal for myself, seeing other people being able to accomplish something similar or maybe the exact thing, it makes me feel like it is that much more possible. And it gives me people to, you know, refer to if I ever get stuck or if I'm ever uninspired. And if you have another image search platform, oh my God, put it in the comments because I always love to know the new ones. So Yeah. And as we're searching, what I'm going to recommend is that you save your images to either a pinboard, a collection, or a folder on your computer, because we're going to go through them before we print them out. Once you're satisfied with all of the many images that you've collected, what you're going to look for when you're going through them is, does this resonate with what I'm trying to create for myself? Do I relate to this image? Does the image make you feel something? Like, do you feel like a gut feeling start ramping up and you get hungry and you get excited and you get inspired? Because if it's just something pretty, or it's something that maybe even triggers some insecurity in you, that's not the picture that you want to look at every day or all the time. So we're going to be very specific with what we choose. With that being said, you can also use pictures that you've taken of yourself or from your camera roll, of places that you've enjoyed being, of moments where you felt your best, and incorporate them as well. For me personally, I like when I can get a picture that I could crop somebody's face out, because it just makes it easier for me to picture myself in that scenario instead of seeing somebody else and maybe getting a little jealous. All right, once we found those really potent, invigorating, magical pictures that we so identify with, we're gonna move them from our Pinterest board, our Instagram collection, or our folder on our computer into an Illustrator file, or maybe a Google Doc, or perhaps a Microsoft Word document. And all we're going to do is we're just going to shrink them down so that they fit according to whatever size that we chose for our vision board. My vision board is 12 by 14 inches, so I'm going to try to keep all of my images a quarter of that size and under. You can use this as an opportunity to do like a rough layout of where you think each image is going to go. This way, it prevents us from having to print out images like a million times, because that wastes a lot of paper and a lot of ink, and we're trying to make this fun and stress-free. Next, all you have to do is print and start cutting. I thought I'd take a moment to explain some of the things that I used in my vision board in case you need some inspiration or some direction. I have an Etsy store. I make handmade home decor and jewelry. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. So I incorporated images of thriving shop owners, productive, focused, but relaxed artists and professionals, because that's the energy I want to cultivate for myself. I'm a musician, so I use pictures that resemble the artist I want to sculpt myself into being. And I'm an actress, so I use images of other actresses that I identify with. All of these images act as a way to ignite my passion and remind me that who I want to be and what I want to have is totally possible and within reach. Once my images are arranged to my liking, I clean and cleanse the space before hanging the final vision board up. I do this by clearing my altar, wiping everything down, and smudging with my lavender smudge stick. Then I hang it up and set my altar, which is a video for another day, so if you're interested, let me know. Once everything's set up, I take a moment for gratitude, to thank my family, to thank the universe, to thank all of the other forces and circumstances that got me to where I am in this present moment. Now, I visit my vision board every morning when I do yoga and meditation, and I also make it a point to consciously sit with the things I want to create at least once a month, like on the full or new moon. This is just to reflect and make adjustments to my schedule or my perspective in order to realign myself with my goals. I suggest doing something similar that works for you. Maybe journaling or planning your day in front of your vision board sparks more joy and excitement than yoga or meditation. Coming back to your vision board and consciously recognizing what you want and how you're going to support these goals is going to be the key. And if you happen to like my leggings, they're the fauna bell bottoms from woventhreads.com. They're super comfortable, they wash nice, they keep their shape, and they're made from recycled water bottles. So if you're interested in getting a pair, you can use Taryn20 for 20% off. And this is the little ritual that I like to do for our old vision board. This is what you'll need: a glass, metal, or ceramic bowl, pictures and materials from your previous vision board, incense, a lighter, and a cup of water. You could probably tell where I'm going with this. We're going to take everything outside, put the old images in the bowl, light them, and once we have a nice little fire going, we're going to add our incense as an offering or as a thank you. As everything burns, we're just going to sit with gratitude in our heart for the past year. Gratitude for what we learned and what we didn't, what we lost, what we gained, and all that we have externally and internally. When everything is finally burned, douse the ashes in some water and spread or bury them. After, I usually wash my tools, then wash my face or take a shower so I feel refreshed and renewed. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see what you all create. Be sure to drop a comment of what you plan to manifest this year or what goals you have for yourself. And like and subscribe so you could see more of my content and more content like this.